Tyron Smith, he'll be out this game. CJ he was limited today. I'm hopeful he'll play, but that is not a guarantee at this point. And Breece Hall is trending in the right direction, so we're hopeful he'll play as well.
What are you seeing out of Breece? What did he do today?
He looked good. Yeah, he looked really good. So the information we need is tomorrow, how he's going to feel after today. So but he looked good today.
And with CJ, I know he put the helmet on for the first time Tuesday with a walkthrough.
Yep.
Did some more stuff yesterday. What did he do today, and kind of where's the decision? Is that how he feels tomorrow as well?
Yeah, it's a little bit of his decision and our decision at the same time. Just CJ is such a tough guy, and he feels such an obligation to his teammates to be out there to help them, and so I know he's going to fight to play no matter what. And so it comes down to him being really honest with us regarding how it feels, and us at times protecting him if we don't think it's the right thing to do.
What have you seen from Smith and Jigba these last 3-4 weeks?
Man, he is, for one, they're featuring him from a schematic standpoint. They're really doctoring up some plays for him. When he gets the ball in his hands, he's a problem. He's a tough runner with the ball in his hands. He feels like a running back at times, the way he breaks tackles, the way he moves, the way he sets guys up. So it's they have such a unique receiver core. They have three guys that are so different, and so they complement each other in the best of ways. DK can just rip the top off of any defense, and then you got 11 who's getting work underneath now, and then you got Lockett who is just so crafty and just understands how to find soft spots and zones and all that he does. So it's and now with Fant coming back, that's the element that people don't talk enough about. And I know he hasn't been in there as much as they would have liked, but he's a problem too because he's a matchup problem. You get a linebacker or a safety on him, and you got a real receiving threat on a guy that's maybe not necessarily accustomed to taking on a guy like that. So their passing game's a problem.
Just to go back to Tyron, we happen to see him out there briefly before practice. Do you have any update on his stat other than not playing on Sunday, which we try to do anyway, but any other?
Nothing as of today. I'm going to actually, after this, I'm going to have a long talk with him and just see where he's at.
In terms of dealing with all those weapons you mentioned on Seattle, Fant and Smith and Jigba and Metcalf, what do you guys need to tighten up? I know I asked you about the pass coverage the other day, but in terms of tighten up to not allow them to find holes in the zone.
Yeah, we're going to have to be on our details at the highest level. And when we play our defense and a detailed version of that, we're a problem, So we've got to be on our stuff, And then when we play man, we're going to have the matchups right, and we're going to play with great technique and effort and finish, and it's going to be a great challenge for the back end.
When you were doing your self-scout, did you guys look at the lack of interceptions, and is there a way to create more of them? Obviously, I know the opportunities.
Right.
Gino has done a lot of good things this year, but he's also thrown 12 interceptions. Did you kind of look at that and how you guys can create more opportunities?
We did, absolutely. Ways that we can, because like we talked about earlier this week, turnovers a lot of times are a byproduct of you have substantial leads in a game and you let your guys just eat, and especially when an offense feels like I got to force the ball down the field to create explosives, come back in a game potentially. That's, as we all know, that's where turnovers typically come. But at the same time, we took a deep dive into our scheme, and are we being aggressive enough at times to force those type of mistakes by an offense and a quarterback. So both those things we took a hard look at, and hopefully we'll have a chance to implement that stuff this game.
You guys have played more man this year, right, than last year?
We have, we have at times.
How much does that factor into the interception question?
That absolutely can. It's harder, not that it's impossible, but it's harder to get interceptions when you're playing as much man as we are playing. Playing man has also been a little bit of a byproduct of living in this 3rd and 2 to 6 world where we have not done well enough at times on 1st and 2nd down to create the 3rd and longers. And as everybody knows, 3rd and 2 to 6, you're going to have to major in man there. Not that you play man every snap, but you're going to have to major in man. And when you do that, to your point, there's going to be less ball production.
What stood out to you about Jalen Mills? Obviously, you guys picked him up 4 or 5 weeks into the season,
right?
And put him in there when Chuck was down, and now he's starting more.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. Those I know he's kind of been labeled as a journeyman because he's kind of hopped around, but what a pro he is. He's just another guy in that room to just demonstrate to all our younger guys what it's supposed to look like, and he does it every day. He's got experience. He's got great. He is one of the better communicators I've ever been around out there. He, for a guy that's come late to our defense and not necessarily had the same time on task that other guys have had, has done an amazing job in that way. So, what a great pickup he was midseason.
What is your position on Tony Adams? I know it's a challenging question because there were reports that the owner might have been involved with him being replaced. What is your leeway as far as, can he go back in the starting lineup, or is he, what's your position on Tony right now?
Yeah, Tony's a guy that obviously from a culture standpoint we absolutely love. So he didn't play as much as I would have liked last week for whatever the reason, and this week he's going to play a little bit more. So he's going to get reintegrated into our defense.
What you've done this now, you're in that head job for 6-7 weeks. Has there been any part of the job that surprised you, challenged you more than you expected? Like, you obviously watch guys do this job for 20 years.
Right.
You probably at times thought, I can do that.
Right.
But when you're in the big chair, has there been anything that's kind of surprised you, or it's been more challenging than you expected?
I'd say time management has been, something that I'm still finding my way through. Probably I'm better now than I was initially, but yeah, there's just a lot of stuff that you don't know that comes across that table, and in that way it's been a bit of a challenge, but a fun challenge, the one that I've embraced, and I say game day too is another challenge. It's just the game management component, but then balancing that with still calling the defense is something that I feel better today than I did early on. But that's been a challenge as well for sure.
Did you watch any football yesterday?
I did.
When you see what went down, not specifically a comment as a guy, but you touched talk about time management, things like that. Obviously, at the end of the Bears game was a difficult spot.
Yeah.
And not specifically about, obviously, I got a comment on but do you learn things when you're looking at those things?
Oh, absolutely.
Are you gleaning things?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've kind of always done that my entire coaching career, kind of, especially those end of game, those winning moments. Because there's a lot of different ways and directions you can go in those moments. I know analytics would say one thing, and field of the game would say another thing, and then just the historical references that people make to all these one-off little end-of-game moments. But I've always put myself in those shoes and thought to myself, what would I do if I was that guy?
Do you ever find yourself like the rest of us watching it and cringing? What are you doing?
Yelling at the TV? Yeah. Yes.
What's it like for you to face Seattle, as far as this is the team you entered coaching with?
Yeah.
And also, have you reached out to Pete Carroll during your time as the head coach here to get some advice from him?
I haven't, but I probably should have. I'd had some more time, I probably would have. But because he's been a great mentor to me in a lot of ways, in my coaching career, and he gave me my start, as you said, in Seattle, and my first stop out there. There's nobody really left there anymore, so it's not necessarily nostalgic or anything like that. But their defensive coordinator is one of my best friends on this earth, Adam Durde, and so it'll be good to see him. But other than that, not a whole lot of connection to that organization anymore.
What sense have you gotten from the team this week from practice meetings that they're still motivated, invested in this, even though the way the season's gone?
Yeah, I felt zero, any human being, not a single individual on this team deviating from staying engaged, preparing at the highest level. The energy's been good, the detail's been good, the approach has been amazing. But it's been amazing, I felt like, this entire time. The process has been right. The results have not been right, so this is the week.